What's up, guys? It's your boy Chip, and girls, and I'm back at you from RVA Vapes. And today we got a fresh one for you. It's the Alpha Tank from GeekVape, and this thing is amazing. So today we're talking about a really cool tank, and this is the Alpha Tank from GeekVape, and it has Marshmallow Coil system, and we'll show you what that's all about in just a second here. We're going to open it up, and I think GeekVape's really stepped it up on the packaging this time around. Got some nice features to it, and really nice packaging. So there's the tank right there, and then your goodie box right here comes with all your extras. You can see the manual down there, and in the goodie box you've got spare glass, and they give you 2 of the bubble glasses, which is really cool. Whole bunch of O-rings, and then you've got one of these moisture wicking packets and your spare coil. So here is your Alpha Tank. Now you can see this one, they all have kind of different metal and acrylic or resin combinations. This one's got the blue accents with the black and white acrylic, which I think is really cool. First thing you're going to notice is it's got a clasp or a lock for the top of the tank. Triple airflow on the bottom. And when we push this button, whoosh, switch blades open. You've got your large fill hole, your chimney hole. You can see down here you've got 3 different airflow channels with your adjustable airflow ring. Now it comes with 2 different types of coils. You've got the single mesh, which comes pre-installed in it, and then there's also a dual mesh that you get in the box. But we'll talk about the coils a little bit more here in a second. Something that's a little bit interesting that you notice is the diameter of the chimney is actually smaller than the coil head itself. If you take a good up close look at that, you can see that the mesh itself in there is actually a larger diameter than the chimney for the coil itself. So that's a really interesting design, but I think they did that to enhance the flavor on this guy. You've got your bubble glass here and your spring-loaded 510 that looks to be gold plated. Thread it back in. As always, the coil screws into the base, and then you screw the base into the top cap. And I really like this swing mechanism here because it closes really easily with one finger. I know a lot of the other ones I've messed with, you kind of got to do this and then like push down really hard, and it's kind of a pain to close it, but this one's really nice on the close. Just springs open like that and close back with one hand. And that's about all there is to it for the up close on the GeekVape Alpha Tank. So now that you've got an up close look at it, we're going to pull back, talk about this little guy, and let you know our take on it. First and foremost, you've got your parameters. It is 41 millimeters tip to tail. You got the 18 millimeter wide drip tip, and it's 25 millimeters at the base. You can see it's got kind of a contoured edge here, so I think it comes out to about 28 with the bubble glass on it. And then the tip's 10 millimeters tall. That's where you get your 8, 10 drip tip from. Now, the construction on this guy is kind of interesting because you can see it's got kind of a combination of metal and acrylic going on there. Now, they did that supposedly to match up with the Nova. So all the different colorways that are available for the Nova, you will find on this tank. It's got 5 of them total, I believe. So we're going to throw those up right now. And it's also got 2 different types of coils it comes with. We showed you the size of the coil, how it's kind of a reduced chimney for enhanced flavor. So they've got the X1 single and the X2 dual. The interesting thing about the dual is that it is a 0.4. and the single's a 0.2, so a little bit higher resistance than what you've seen on a lot of these mesh tanks. We showed you the sweet Ninja whoosh, opening and closing mechanism that you can use one finger for both of, so that's really cool. And they call these coils Meshmellow coils. And the reason that they call them Meshmellow is because it's using Egyptian cotton. So it's a little bit higher grade. They say 100% organic and sterile with no bleaching agents, no hydrogen peroxide, and no artificial taste. And I have to say that the break-in period on this tank is probably the shortest of any tank I've ever used. Particularly that it's a mesh coil. So that's a really interesting feature. Basically, there's no break-in time at all. You fill it up, prime the mesh on the inside, and it tastes phenomenal right out the box. So the main thing that we're going to be talking about is the tank performance overall. It has amazing flavor to it. There's a couple reasons for this, I think. A, you've got the reduced top chamber of the coil, as we showed you in the up-close video. The diameter that screws into the chimney is actually smaller than the mesh itself, so I think that adds to the flavor. Obviously, that Egyptian cotton adds to the flavor, but it's also got, you know, the triple airflow slots around the bottom. Not as big as some of the other mesh tanks out there, so I think that definitely enhances the flavor as well. Overall, I've been really happy with this tank. The performance of it, flavor-wise, is amazing. The coil life itself is something that I'm still trying to figure out. I've tried to use different juices that I know are good or bad on coils, and I haven't even been able to get like a baseline on that yet because it's still such a new tank. I've only had the opportunity to play with this one for about a week now, so still on the second coil that came in the box, but all in all, I'd have to say that I'm fairly happy with it. It's got the best flavor I've found out of pretty much any of the higher wattage sub-ohm tanks. It's right there neck and neck with the Fireluke Mesh Pro, if not maybe slightly better. Maybe. But the proportion size-wise on this guy I think fits a lot better. It doesn't have the giant bubble on it there like a lot of them do. One of the cooler features about this is it comes with two bubbles. So both the glass that's installed and the spare glass are both bubble tanks. And it says it holds 5 mils of juice. So it's not the biggest capacity tank that we've seen, but it's definitely, you know, in the range that we like around here. So I'm not filling it up every 5 minutes. You notice by looking at the coil itself, you can see how big those wicking holes are. Look how big that is. So I haven't had any issues with dry hits or priming or anything like that. I think this guy was specifically designed for, you know, maximum flavor. It doesn't have terrible vapor production, but it's not quite as much as some of the other higher wattage mesh tanks. But the flavor on it totally makes up for that, in my opinion. Overall design of it, we really like. The colorways I think are really cool because they all have like that two-tone kind of thing going on, except for the black Onyx. Obviously it's just black on black, but it still has the white kind of swirled in with the black on the resin, so that's kind of a two-toned-esque look, I would say. You know, overall construction, out of all the acrylic tanks that we've tested here, this one's probably got the nicest quality feel to it. The spring-loaded swing top is awesome. The fill port is nice and easy to use. The Meshmellow coils have great flavor. Obviously, we keep talking about that. So, all in all, I'd have to give this tank 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. You know, if you're looking for a really good flavor tank that's not going to break the bank and has some cool styling to it, that's not like gaudy and kind of hokey, I would definitely recommend checking out the Alpha tank here. You can pick yours up for 10% off with coupon code ALPHA10 right here, and you can get that at shop.rvavapes.com, so make sure you check that out on our website. We've also got a ton of other cool stuff up there. The drags just landed, so that's awesome. We got the drag minis and the drag 2s now, and we're going to be reviewing those real soon. But you may be wondering what kind of mod I've got there with that cool rotary dial. Stay tuned for that. This is the Chaos Vape Soon mod, and we got a review for that coming up in a week or two. So that'll be another fun little thing to talk about. But you know, we try to keep these reviews as short and sweet as possible. If I have any super negative feedback about the coil life itself, I'll definitely make an update to this video and let you guys know. But all in all, I would say for the amount of flavor you're getting and the average coil life that they put out, if you specifically like flavor and you're kind of a flavor junkie, this is probably the tank for you. So make sure you pick one of these up. Alpha Tank from GeekVape. As always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get all the latest and greatest on our video reviews. We've got a giveaway coming up in a couple weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And that's all I got to say about the Alpha Tank, boys and girls. If you want to smoke, that's your business. If you don't,